How does one react to a game like this? You can see the positives and say, yes, India won 4 games out of 5. Yes, India marched into the semi-final, but we've seen that before. I think the way to react to this is to embrace it honestly and say, number one, on the day India weren't good enough. Doff your hat to the opponents. England played fantastic cricket. I thought they started off well in the power play, in the middle overs. Adil Rashid again bowled very well. India's plan to play Rishabh Pant against him never did materialize because he wasn't in to bat. And in spite of the fact that India took down a very strong England death bowling record, with 88 runs of the last 7 overs, India was still short. And I think the fact that India was short with wickets in hand tells you the story that maybe India playing a little conservatively. We're all looking at this game and saying, right, how many do you need? 168 was what a lot of people thought was exactly where England would want India to be. So I think India need to look back and say, right, were we little too conservative? Did we need to be a little more fearless? See how Butler and Hales played. The ball didn't curve. Right through this tournament, India's bowlers Bhuvi and Arshdeep got more swing than anybody else. And we were sitting here in the commentary box, sitting and talking about it and saying, right, how can India defend 160? There were 2 ways of doing it. One is the ball swung early and you got a couple of wickets, but India just pulled the length back a little too quickly, but the ball didn't swing. The second was whether it would grip, and that was the key. Would the ball grip for Ashwin and Akshar Patel? And that didn't happen. At one point, I think the finger spinners had conceded 55 from 5, and effectively the game was over then because India didn't have the pace bowling to then counter the fact that there was no swing or turn. So you look back and say yet another campaign. I remember asking Rohit at the press conference whether he can put a finger on why India seemed to be so good in bilateral games, so good in league matches, qualifying, but always seeming to stumble at the end. And he talked about handling pressure. I think it's a little deeper than that. It isn't about India alone. I think England, as the baton has passed from Owen Morgan to Jos Buttler, have embraced that same style, a very contemporary white ball approach to playing and saying, right, we will go hard, we'll stack our side with batting. They had batting right down to 8 or 9, look for seam bowling all-rounders, but always have someone who goes hard at the top. And it's an approach that's taken England to a resounding win. England would not have expected to go to Melbourne with a better win than this. So there you go. Congratulations, England. England versus Pakistan is a big game, but many questions for India to answer.